She didn't knock the second time. It's late right now. The kind of late when even your own breathing sounds loud. If you're listening to this alone, maybe with the lights off, I want you to remember one thing before we begin. Not every knock is harmless. Some knocks are warnings, and some doors, once opened, can never truly be closed. It started with a knock, not loud, not angry, not desperate, just slow, controlled, almost respectful. Ethan Moore was awake when it happened. He usually was. Nights in Red Willow had a strange way of keeping people alert. The town was quiet, in a way that didn't feel peaceful. It felt like something was waiting. His small wooden house sat at the edge of the forest, where the road disappeared into tall, dark trees, and the wind always seemed to whisper through them. The clock on the wall ticked loudly, showing 2:11 a.m. Knock, knock. The sound wasn't heavy, but it echoed deep inside his chest. Ethan sat up straight on the couch, heart pounding. Nobody ever knocked at that hour. Not here. Not in Red Willow. Not ever. He stayed still for a moment, telling himself it was the wind or branches brushing the porch roof. Then it came again. Knock. Slower this time. Deliberate. Like whoever was outside knew he was listening. His stomach tightened. He stood up, every step toward the door feeling heavier than the last, and asked without opening, "Who is it?" There was silence. Then a woman's voice, calm, polite, almost embarrassed, saying, "I'm sorry to bother you. My car broke down. Could I please use your phone?" The way she spoke sounded normal, human, tired, the kind of voice that didn't raise alarms, and that somehow made it worse. Ethan hesitated, his hand resting on the lock, before finally opening the door. Outside stood a woman, soaked from rain, long dark hair stuck to her pale face. She looked young, maybe early 30s. No purse, no phone, no car. Headlights anywhere behind her. The road was empty, stretching into darkness. The rain fell straight through her hair, yet she didn't shiver. What bothered Ethan most was her eyes, wide, unblinking, like she wasn't really looking at him, but through him, studying something deeper. "Come in," he said quietly. The moment she stepped inside, the air changed instantly. The warmth of the house drained away, replaced by a sharp, unnatural cold that crawled over his skin like fingers. She stood just inside the door, water dripping onto the floor, forming small puddles. She didn't look around, didn't react to the cold, didn't move at all. "What's your name?" Ethan asked, trying to keep his voice steady. She paused, like she was searching for the answer somewhere far away, then said, "Lena." Her voice sounded distant, flat, like it echoed from another room. Ethan picked up his phone from the table and held it out to her. She didn't take it. Instead, her gaze slowly slid past him, toward the dark hallway behind his shoulder. "Alone?" she asked. "Yes," he answered. Another pause, longer, heavier. "That's good," she said softly. A chill ran down his spine, and for the first time, he felt like letting her inside might have been a mistake. Ethan turned away for only a second to grab a towel from the chair behind him, and when he turned back, she was gone, completely vanished. The front door was still closed, still locked. The rain still tapped against the windows, but on the floor were wet footprints leading away from the door, heading deeper into the house. His breathing became shallow as he followed them step by step down the hallway. The house felt different now, tighter, darker, like it was closing in around him. The footprints were fresh, water still pooling around them, leading straight toward his bedroom. The bedroom door stood open, darkness spilling out like a shadow, and there she was, standing beside his bed, facing the wall, not moving, not breathing, her head slightly tilted, like she was listening to something he couldn't hear. Her lips moved, barely audible. "Too late," she whispered. The lights flickered violently, shadows jumping across the walls, like something was crawling just out of sight. Ethan rushed forward, slammed his hand on the switch. The room filled with light, and she was gone. No woman, No footprints, no sound, just a single wet handprint pressed into the wall above the bed. Fingers twisted, bent in an impossible angle, like something trying to pull itself through from the other side. Ethan stumbled back, his heart racing, his mind screaming to run, but his legs refused to move. The handprint slowly began to dry, darkening, as if it had never been water at all. Ethan didn't sleep that night. He sat on the couch, with every light on, watching the hallway, until morning, when pale sunlight finally cut through the trees. Shaking, he drove straight into town to the sheriff's office, and told everything, every detail. The knock, the woman, the footprints, the handprint. The sheriff listened quietly, his face unreadable. Did she knock more than once? Ethan nodded. Yes, twice. The sheriff leaned back slowly, his jaw tightening. That's strange, he said, because the woman you described died 3 years ago. Car accident on the highway just outside Red Willow. Ethan felt his throat go dry. He asked what happens if she knocks twice. The sheriff looked at him for a long time before answering. She doesn't knock the second time, he said. She comes back inside. The words hit Ethan harder than anything else. The sheriff explained in a low voice that people in Red Willow had whispered about her for years. Drivers reported seeing a woman on rainy nights, asking for help, knocking once on doors, vanishing if ignored. But those who let her in, those were the ones who left town, or never spoke about it again. Some didn't leave at all. Ethan asked why her, why this town. The sheriff said, some spirits don't know they're gone, and some know but refuse to accept it. That night, Ethan packed his bags. He didn't wait for sunrise. He left Red Willow. The sky was still dark, the forest watching him as he drove away. The house still stands empty to this day, but locals say on rainy nights the porch light turns on by itself, even though there's no power inside. And sometimes, if you drive those roads late enough, you might see a woman standing just beyond the headlights, waiting, soaked from rain, staring without blinking. And if you ever stop and hear a knock at your door, remember this: she should only knock once, because the second time, she doesn't ask to come in, she's already there. And some doors once opened, never truly close.